Good morning, Year 2. It is Thursday, the 11th of February, and it's time for our maths session today. So today we're still following our Key Stage 1 Maths workout book and the Year 1, okay? I know by now most of you will have received your new packs, but we will be starting those after half term. So please don't go into the new packs yet. We are still following this booklet for now. And today we're focusing on page 24. Page 24. But before we do that, here's Bob. And Bob's saying it's time to warm up. So it's really, really important that we get our brains active, we get our minds going, and we're ready for our maths learning this morning. So, following on from what we did yesterday, I have got a circle here. I've got a rectangle, and I've got another circle. And if we look very, very carefully, parts of those shapes are shaded in. Now, yesterday we were looking at fractions, weren't we? So we were looking at if we split it down the middle, we make two halves. So this one is half of a whole, okay? So the circle is the whole, and we are halving it. That means they are equal on both sides, halving it. So this would be half a circle. Moving down on our rectangle, it is split into 4 equal parts. Remember, that is the whole, and then 4 quarters make 1 whole. So here I have shaded in 1 quarter. And here we have another circle, and it is all shaded in, which means that we've shaded in the whole of the shape. Now, moving forward, our warm-up today, you're going to need your whiteboard and your pen. I've got mine ready. Whiteboard and your pen, okay? And my first question says, can you shade in 1 whole of a circle? 1 whole of a circle. So I think what you're going to need to do is draw your circle on your board and then shade in 1 whole. There's my circle. Can you shade in 1 whole? Have a go. While you're doing it, Mrs. O'Keefe's just going to do it as well. Excellent. Shall we see if yours matches mine? That's right, we've shaded in the whole of the shape. 1 whole of a circle. Then it says, shade in 1/2 of a circle. So again, you need to draw your circle. And we are looking at 1/2. So you need to halve your circle. Think about how we halved those shapes yesterday. 1/2 of a circle. Then once you've halved it, you need to shade in 1/2. And then we'll see if yours matches Mrs. O'Keefe's. 1/2. Well done. And the last one says, can you shade in 1/4 of a circle? Can you shade in 1/4 of a circle? So you need your circle again. And remember, 4 quarters make 1 whole. So you need to chop it into quarters. Just check you've got 4 quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you need to shade in 1/4. 1/4. Are we ready to show me? Have you got the same as Mrs. O'Keefe? Excellent, fantastic, Year 2, well done. For now, you can put your lid on your pen and put your whiteboard away just while we look at today's learning, okay? So today we are looking at page 24 and we are looking at understanding measuring problems, okay? So we are understanding measuring problems and we are looking at the language used as in longer and shorter, okay? So today, by the end of this, you'll be able to understand measuring problems using the language longer and shorter. So on my board, I have got some of the language we might use. This one says short, short, shortest. Do they mean the same thing? Short, shortest. They might. Longest, longest. Tallest, tallest. We've also got words like measure, measure. And we can also measure distance, okay? So this is distance. We'd measure that by, if we were doing a running race, we would measure the distance that that person has ran, okay? We'd measure the distance. So, here, just like in your book, I think you've got vans and hats in your book, okay? And it says, answer these questions by putting A or B in the box. And we're looking at which is the longest. Which is the longest? So, which is longer out of these pencils? Which one? How can we tell? So we need to make sure when we're measuring that they both start at the same point, okay? Because if this was up here, we might think, oh, that's past that one, that's a bit longer. But we need to make sure that they both start at the same point. So which one is longest, year 2? You need to do the one in your book. Mrs. O'Keefe is going to just put a tick by which one I think is longest. Next question. Which pencil is shorter? Which is the shortest? Which pencil is the shortest? Now remember what we said. We need to make sure that they are both lined up at the beginning. So if I was measuring a whiteboard pen and a pencil, I need to make sure that both of the ends are level, they're flat, okay? So you need a flat surface. And then I can see there that the pencil is longer than the pen, okay? So moving back onto this one, which is the shortest? So that means it's going to be smaller than the other pencil. Is this one smaller than this one? Or is it the other way round? Have a think and have a chat with your adult. Did we get it right? This one is the shortest. Okay. Oh, now. Number 2 says, tick the boxes below. Which bat is double the length of the other? Now we're looking at doubling, aren't we? We talked about this earlier on in the week. Doubling means to double that amount, okay? And it's exactly the same when we're looking at measure, when we're looking at measuring longer, shorter. We are looking at doubling the length, okay? So Mrs. O'Keefe's whiteboard pen, if I wanted to double it, I put another whiteboard pen, okay? We are doubling. They are the same length and we are doubling. So, which one is double the length of the other? And remember, double is also another word for the longest. Have a look. So there's one pencil, and if I was to double this pencil, we'd have this size. So actually, this one is double in length? Let's have a look at the next one. Which pencil is half the length of the other? Half the length. Now remember, when we're halving, we're making it smaller, okay? Halving, we're making it smaller. So if I got this pencil and I chopped it in half, 2 equal halves, okay, 2 equal parts, which one would be shorter? Which one would be half the length? Well done, you two. This one is half the length of this one, because again, if we doubled it like we did at the top, we would have this size pencil. So the last question in your pack: how many blocks long is each pen? So we don't just need to measure by looking at our side, by doubling. We can use rulers. We can use anything. You can use anything to measure. You could use pasta to measure things. So in here, we're using blocks, and the blocks are there on the page for you. Can you see? So you don't need blocks at home, okay? You don't need blocks at home. The blocks are on the page for you. Measure using the blocks and compare. So can we see the block is right at the end of this pencil, and they go all the way up to the tip. So let's count how many blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10 blocks. Let's write blocks. 10 blocks. Okay, 10 blocks. Now let's have a go at counting this one. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. 5 blocks. Now we need to compare them, which means we need to look at them and we need to talk about which one is the longest and why. How do we know this? So if this one has 10 blocks and this one measures 5 blocks, which one is the longest? Which one has the bigger number? You're right, this one. This one has the bigger number. Because 10 is bigger than 5. If we were looking at which one was the shortest, we would have to look for that smaller number, okay? So we know that 5 is smaller than 10. So it all depends on what it's asking you. You'll be able to talk about which one's bigger, which one's smaller. But here, it's just asking you to count the blocks. So on the first pen, you need to count your blocks. Mrs. O'Keefe's counted hers and it's 10 blocks, so I'd write 10 in there. But for you, your questions will be slightly different because you might not have as many blocks as Mrs. O'Keefe. I think your pencils look a little bit smaller than the ones on my board, so make sure you count very, very carefully. Okay, year 2? Have fun, make sure you send it in. Can't wait to see it all.